So today I made an interesting discovery, and that is if you play Martin Brundle and David Croft at a quarter speed, they sound a little bit like British comedian Rosie Jones. But I'd actually prefer to listen to Rosie Jones because she speaks far less shit than this pair. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, here she is. British comedian, and she's commentated and presented on real sport. That would be the Paralympics. So Rosie, if you ever fancy a job in fake sport, then you'd probably do a decent job in Formula One. So I'm going to take you through the onboards in France, and then the main feed footage, which hopefully it will get through all the filters and not get blocked on copyright if I'm playing it at a quarter speed. We'll see. The audio, you'll hear it. But at least, hopefully, you'll get the chance to see exactly what's going on. And once I've done that, I'm going to play you the audio from the commentary of Brundle and Crofty, and you can see how that truly corresponds to what you're seeing with your own eyes. Here we go. So let's hit the play button. And we're going really fast. So start of the race, this is strap on. Coming up to turn 1. Whoa, that's going off the track. Not made it around turn 1 without going off the track. Not made it to turn 2. Okay, we'll go on to Norris now. Norris? Why are we looking at Norris? I wonder. Why are we looking at Norris? Surprise, surprise. Now, after they completed the first lap, they go on to the second lap. So this is Norris completing lap 1, going on to lap 2. Let's have a look. Sounds a bit like the old Spectrum Plus 2 loading a game up. Can you hear the noise? Can you see when they're slowing down and braking for the corner, kids? Okay, we'll do this on some of the crash videos. We'll do the onboards and we'll see exactly when they're slowing down and braking for the corner, and when Lewis is starting to hit the brakes, and when Max gives it the full send. So Lando realises he's not going to make it round. Okay, he's going to struggle, so he's bailed out early. All right, he's made that choice. But it's the same thing. That's turn 1. Is he going to negotiate turn 1/turn 2? We'll check the word in a second. No, he's not. So what does he do? Let's have a look. There it is, look. Now remember, after one complete lap, the field has already spread. There's already about half a second between each and every car, maybe a second between each and every car. On lap 1, when all the cars are streaming through turn 2, they're all bunched up right next to each other. So by having to do that manoeuvre, you're going to lose quite a few places. Right, so they're the actual onboards. Now we're going through the replay as given to you all on F1 TV. So let's have a look.
You're trying to recalculate on the Red Bull pit wall now. So Max stayed very straight, didn't he? And didn't really claim fully the way the line into the...
So this is Max. He's not made it around turn one by being able to stay on the track, has he? Okay, in order to make it around turn one and stay on the track, your car has got to be this side of that white line that he's the other side of. Okay, so he's not made it around turn one, and he's not going to make it around turn two because look at him now. Oh, better have it to play. Fully off the track now. Is he able to get back on track before that bollard? No.
At a moment.
Okay. Because you couldn't get back on track before this bollard here, where whose car is that? Where Perez is right now. Okay, at that point in time, once you realise you are not going to make it past that bollard, back onto track before that bollard, which he realised before that bollard, you then have got to cut across here, and you'll see the perspective now to that chicane that's been created. But he doesn't do that.
So did make turn one. I can see why the stewards agreed that. So he actually had to counter steer into a slide, a back end slide. And that's what caught him out rather than out breaking himself. We've been talking, Nico Rosberg was saying in the build-up here, Martin, there's a very gusty wind.
Oh, it's that wind again. That wind that affects the Red Bull car.
Blowing these cars all the way down this main straight. As Max Verstappen being caught out by the wind, you think?
Hot air balloons are also affected by high winds.
It's just going a little bit hot.
Look at his steering wheel movement. Got a bit of a tank slapper going on now as Max.
On the back, the red tires wouldn't accept it. Yeah.
Verstappen, I couldn't keep the car under control. No shit, Max.
Didn't let too many go to the right turn.
Now the track's this way, Max.
with the front wing. It takes a honestly sounding well to not go through the bollard. And we see the front wing moving, so Max didn't really feel confident.
Max did nothing wrong. Red Bull did nothing wrong. They were just playing some clever cards.
Climbing the full width of the track.
That's not the full width of the track, Martin.
Yeah. So I had to go in on an acute angle into the first corner.
Max had to go in on an acute angle into that first corner. Yeah, because none of the other 19 cars had to go into that corner at an acute angle either. Yeah, that's a good description of why Max had to go off track there. Thanks for that, Martin. Thanks for your valuable insight. Let me know what you think in the comments section, Martin.
And a nice gift there for Lou.
There he is, the man under suspicion. What you been up to, Christian? Or is this just more bullshit just for a media story to divert attention and keep the clicks during the off season? Who knows? What's he been up to?
Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton tangling into turn one. At this time, as you rightly say, it was rather a gift for Lewis Hamilton.
What are we watching now? We're watching, this is lap 2. Start of lap 2. Same corner. The two McLarens dueling.
Another replay there. Fernando Alonso.
See Daniel Ricciardo there, which is the guy here. See the way he came around that turn and he's going here. He's not come around that turn and gone across here, has he? He's not taken the Max Verstappen line, okay? He's gone there and he's gone this way because he knew he had a car on his outside. And therefore, you give that car track room. The rules of engagement of Formula 1. Lando thought he wasn't going to make it by. So Lando's bailed out early. What does Lando do? Lando was in the driver's briefing. Lando listened to Michael Massey's direction telling him that if this is a situation, if you're not going to make it around turns 1 and 2 correctly, this is what you must do. Lando felt he wasn't going to make it around turns 1 and 2 correctly. This is what he did.
Charles Leclerc, and that is where McLaren.
And he rejoins the track in a safe manner. Okay, picking out a safe manner to rejoin that track when all of those cars are going by there on lap 1 is far more difficult. You're going to have to wait till a few of them cars stream by you before making your way back onto track. That's the way it works.
Had to go through the bollards and take the pain. So fastest lap.
The fastest lap for Max Verstappen. Anyway, let's talk you through what Brundle and Crofty actually say real time. And let's recap what the ruling was that Michael Massey instructed the drivers they had to do at turns 1 and 2. Any driver who fails to negotiate turn 2, okay, because you come round turn 1 too fast and gone off the track. Any driver who fails to negotiate turn 2 by using the track and who passes completely to the right of the first fluorescent yellow bollard on the apex of the corner must keep completely to the right of the fluorescent yellow bollard and rejoin the track by driving through the two arrays of bollards in the runoff by passing to the right of the first and to the left of the second. See image 1. Very clear. Any driver who fails to negotiate turn 2 by using the track and who passes completely to the right of the first fluorescent yellow bollard on the apex of the corner must keep completely to the right of the fluorescent yellow bollard and rejoin the track. It's pretty straightforward. Did Max Verstappen negotiate turn 2 using the track? No, he didn't. Did Max Verstappen pass completely to the right of the first fluorescent yellow bollard on the apex of the corner? Yes, he does. Therefore, he must keep completely to the right of the fluorescent yellow bollard and rejoin the track by driving through the two arrays of blocks in the runoff by passing to the right of the first and the left of the second. Okay, now what it does do down here, it tells you the other turns of the track where these measures have been put in place, and then it comes down to the generals, and it says each time any car fails to negotiate turns 1 and 2 and or 3, 5 and or turn 6 and or turns 8, 9 using the track as described above, teams will be informed by the official messaging system. On the third occasion of a driver failing to negotiate turns 1 and 2 and all them turns, okay, he will be shown a black and white flag. Any further cutting will then be reported to the stewards. In all cases detailed above, the driver must only rejoin the track when it is safe to do so and without gaining a lasting advantage. The above requirements will not automatically apply to any driver who is judged to have been forced off the track. Each such case will be judged individually. So D, the above requirements will not automatically apply to any driver who is judged to have been forced off the track. Max Verstappen wasn't forced off the track. Lando Norris wasn't forced off the track. Max Verstappen didn't negotiate turn 2. He didn't do what he told he must do. And if you don't do what you're told you must do, what does that mean? You don't get 3 chances at that. If you get 3 chances of going through the bollards. And if you go through the bollards 3 times, then you get the black and white flag. Hey, you've done that 3 times. Okay? You can't just do that every lap. But if you don't even go through the bollards, which is the measure which they put in place, if that's what you do, that equals a penalty. So again, back to the image, clear for all to see, and this doesn't give the best perspective of it. This makes it look like when you get to there, you've got to cut across here and go through this kamikaze course. But actually, you saw how Lando Norris did it. You went off the track. Max Verstappen realised he'd gone off the track. He got to about this point in time when he realised, I'm not going to make it back onto track before this bollard. That's when you head across here. And this is far more condensed than it is in real life. Anyway, we're going to go and have a listen to what Brundle and Crofty said. Now, some of you may have seen my video with this thumbnail, Verstappen Radio. This is Sky Sports F1, F1 TV, and Red Bull in cahoots. And what that does for the first section of the video plays through the audio starting in Abu Dhabi, whereby there is the incident on lap 1 where Lewis Hamilton has to go off track to avoid a collision. And the commentators spend the next 8.5 laps discussing the situation, debating it, suggesting that Lewis Hamilton should get a penalty for that, getting the expert opinions of Damon Hill, Nico Rosberg, Jenson Button, listening to the interjected messages from Red Bull, 2 or 3 of them, okay, listening to what the FIA say from Michael Massey. 8.5 laps in Abu Dhabi in dealing with commentary of an incident where a car went off track, where he had to go off track to evade a collision. Compare that video, compare the first 20 minutes of that video with what you're going to hear right now. 2021 French Grand Prix. Enjoy.
Max is on the racing line down there, just about. It's kind of through the middle, actually, isn't it? But he's at least got an 8 metres head start over Hamilton.
Wins from pole here, 10 out of 16 previous races. Who's going to win today? It's lights out and away we go. Even start from the front two. Bottas gets away better than Perez, who's quickly caught by Carlos Sainz. Verstappen leading them then down towards turn 1 from Hamilton, from Bottas, who just has to back off a bit, and Verstappen goes off the track, and that gives the lead to Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Sainz now looking to make a move on the Red Bull. Behind him comes Pierre Gasly, but Max Verstappen, what a poor turn 2 that was for him.
And locking up, and if you don't make the corner through turn 1, you're supposed to go through an escape road and through a zigzag chicane as well. If you
Absolutely right, Martin.
don't go the correct side of the bollard.
It cost Max Verstappen dear, as at the rear of the field, both Latifi and Russell battling away the two Williams. Latifi has got ahead of his teammate already. Hamilton, who's led 105 of the last 106 laps here at Paul Ricard, is streaking.
What are the FIA going to do now? He's going to have to get a penalty for that. Surely he's going to have to get a penalty. Surely he's going to have to get a penalty. Because all them cars could have gone by him if he'd have done the correct procedure.
Ahead, Lando Norris and Esteban Ocon swapping places. Norris is 10th, Leclerc up into 7th, ahead of Fernando Alonso, as you can see on your screen.
And Max Verstappen gave the front wing a fair old whack as well on the
Poor Max.
curb, so it's allowed Hamilton to get away. And really, that was, and I'm surprised that Max locked up, because he really wasn't under particular pressure going into the first corner.
Yeah, it certainly looked like he got a decent getaway. We'll see a replay in a moment as Fernando Alonso all over the rear of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, trying to make a move past but having to settle down into 8th place. The stewards are saying no investigation necessary.
What? The stewards are saying no investigation necessary. That's quite a quick decision, isn't it, stewards?
On that turn 2 incident where Max Verstappen went off the track, so no penalties coming, but it's big.
He went off before turn 2. He didn't make it around turn 2 on the track.
Penalty.
And we looked at what the race director's pre-race event notes were. That's what you've got to do if you're not going to make it around turn 2 on the track.
Is that he will finish the first lap 1.5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton.
A pile of oversteer, the back end sliding for Lewis Hamilton. So what they're saying is he didn't go off in turn 1, therefore he wasn't obliged to go through the escape road. He went.
Listen to that bullshit. What they're saying is he didn't go off in turn 1, so wasn't obliged. And the listener will take what you're saying, Brundle, as gospel. They'll go, oh, well, Brundle must know the technicalities of all this. Did we not just... Let's go through that explanation from Brundle again.
Pile of oversteer, the back end sliding for Lewis Hamilton. So what they're saying is he didn't go off in turn 1, therefore he wasn't obliged to go through the escape road.
Let's have a look, shall we, Brundle? Let's see what he's obliged to do. He didn't go off in turn 1, so therefore wasn't obliged. Well, that's not what it says, Martin. Okay? Martin, it says this. Any driver who fails to negotiate turn 2 by using the track and who passes completely to the right of the first fluorescent yellow bollard on the apex, which is what he did, must keep completely to the right of the fluorescent yellow bollard and rejoin the track by driving through the two arrays of blocks in the runoff by passing to the right of the first and to the left of the second. But what have you done, Martin? You've just validated that, haven't you? And you've given everybody a gaslighting bullshit excuse to validate it. And most people don't know that that's what you're doing, and that's how you get away with it. And that's how you got away with Abu Dhabi. And how long will they wait? And are they even going to release the lap cars? I don't think that's mandatory, but that's usually on a wet day in Spa. Bullshit.
He went off in turn 2, so that is a lucky escape.
Here goes.
It's a lucky escape. A lucky escape for Max.
Fernando Alonso once again on Charles Leclerc. This could get a bit tasty. Leclerc just stays ahead of the wily old campaigner as Daniel Ricciardo does go off at turn 1.
So we're on lap 2 now. We're not on lap 8.5 yet.
One does go onto the escape road. Lando Norris, and he's now behind Daniel Ricciardo in 10th place. Ricciardo is 9th. So the two McLarens swapping places, and Ricciardo having to take to the escape road as Tsunoda's up to 17th.
With 4 behind my left rear. No grip out here.
Check my left rear, he says, because we saw him power sliding out of the last corner was Lewis Hamilton. So Max Verstappen lives for another day. That's a big save on not getting a penalty. We saw the McLaren.
Just a bit, isn't it? Just a bit.
McLaren there, didn't we, of Lando Norris, doing what you're obliged to do.
So we saw the McLaren of Lando Norris doing what you're obliged to do. Well said, Martin. Absolutely right, Martin. Why can't you say the same thing about Strap-on?
Down there.
And just looking, Esteban Ocon under pressure from Sebastian Vettel into the chicane. Late on the brakes, Sebastian Vettel. He's put his Aston Martin ahead of the Alpine, and he's making up places already from 12th on the grid. He's now running in 11th, and we are on board with the Frenchman Esteban Ocon towards Scene Corner. Takes it flat, has to lift off a bit because there was just no room on the inside to get through and past Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, that was a half-hearted move there. He was never going to get through there, so it'd have been better lining up for a run a little bit later on in the lap.
So, Lewis Hamilton ahead of Max Verstappen, Bottas and Perez staying 3rd and 4th where they started this race. Sainz ahead of Gasly, and then comes Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris, who's dropped 2 places in the opening couple of laps here. Sebastian Vettel ahead of Esteban Ocon, then comes Antonio Giovinazzi and his teammate Kimi Raikkonen, who's made places from 17th up to 14th. Lance Stroll's gone from 19th to 15th, and ahead of Nicholas Latifi, Yuki Tsunoda starting from the pit lane now ahead of George Russell, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin, all 20, still going here on lap 3.
You gave us all this in Abu Dhabi, didn't you? We heard all that in Abu Dhabi. Or did we? Go and check it out on the Verstappen radio video.
As you can see, Max Verstappen doing the fastest lap, and they'll be furiously trying to recalculate on the Red Bull pit wall now. So Max stayed very straight, didn't he? And didn't really claim fully the way into the line into the corner. Had a moment, so he did make turn 1. I can see why the stewards agreed that. So he actually had.
Oh, I can see why the stewards agreed that. I can see why the stewards agreed that. Let's have a double check, Martin. Let's see what the ruling was. Any driver who fails to negotiate turn 2 by using the track and who passes completely to the right of the first fluorescent yellow bollard. That's what we're talking about, Martin. That's what we're talking about. So let's go back and see what you're justifying again.
Fully the way into the line into the corner. Had a moment, so he did make turn 1. I can see why the stewards agreed that. So he actually had to counter.
Yeah, I can see why the stewards did what they did. Thanks for that, Martin. That was in compliance with them Massey notes that clearly you've read and you know about.
Steering.
Validator.
To a slide, a back-end slide, and that's what caught him out rather than out-braking himself.
I thought it might have been the wind again.
We've been talking, Nico Rosberg was saying in the build-up here, Martin, there's a very gusty wind blowing these cars all the way down this main straight. Has Max Verstappen been caught out by the wind, do you think?
It's just gone in a little
It's amazing how Max keeps getting caught out by the wind. You know, there's 20 drivers there. It's just Max that's affected by the wind.
bit hot, and the back, the rear tyres wouldn't accept it. And yeah, he didn't hit too many curves with the right, with the front wing. It takes a, he so did well to not go through the bollard, and we see.
Oh, he did so well. Oh, Max did so well to not go through the bollard.
The front wing moving, so Max didn't really feel confident in claiming the full width of the track there.
No.
Oh, Max didn't feel confident in claiming the full width of the track. Listen to this.
He had to go in on an acute angle into the.
Oh, yeah, and it was because it was an acute angle. How many more excuses do you want?
First corner, and a nice gift there for Lewis Hamilton.
Well, we saw.
Oh, it was a gift for Lewis Hamilton. Once again, Lewis gets given something, yeah? Not a failure on Verstappen's part. It was just a gift for Hamilton, yeah?
Well, didn't we, at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton tangling at
Tangling. What? Max running Lewis off the track. That's tangling, is it?
turn one.
Because, once again, Max is carrying so much extra speed, and it's understeer, 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 and drive the other car off the track.
This time, as you rightly say, it was rather a gift for Lewis Hamilton. This is the start for Daniel Ricciardo.
As you rightly say, Martin, it was a gift for Lewis Hamilton. A gift for Lewis Hamilton. How lucky is Lewis? Lewis is the one with the gift. It's absolutely right that Max wasn't punished for it. Are you hearing this? Are you hearing the narrative that is what these bastards are spewing? Lewis got the gift here, and it was absolutely right that Max wasn't punished for it. And how far down the field would Max be had he have actually carried out that procedure that he was required to do? And was he then receiving a punishment that would have actually put him back down the field in that position that he would have been in? Oh, no. Max didn't feel confident to use all of the width of the track. Maybe it was a gust of wind for Max. Oh, he did so well in doing what he did. Oh, and it was a gift for Lewis.
Ricciardo, it's his teammate Lando Norris ahead of him, and Ricciardo on the long run down to turn one. Well, he says he's the last of.
Super Max, 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 Super Max, Max. Are them two boys wearing their orange t-shirts as they're commentating? I don't know. Maybe they are.
The late breaker, and he was certainly later than his teammate on the brakes.
That was good, wasn't it? Nicely done there. And another replay then of Fernando Alonso and Charles Leclerc, and that is where the McLaren had to go through the bollards and take the pain.
So,
Well, that's where the McLaren had to go through the bollards and take the pain. And take the pain, that pain that Max never had to take. But it was a gift for Hamilton. The gift was for Hamilton.
fastest lap for Max Verstappen as he now starts to claw back that 1.5 second advantage that Lewis Hamilton has in the early stages here at Paul Ricard. 53 laps to go. Here is Ted Kravitz.
And that was it. That was all of the discussion about what took place and Max evading a penalty on lap 1. That was it. We're now on lap 4. 8.5 laps in Abu Dhabi. They're spewing their vitriol towards Lewis Hamilton. We're on lap 4. 3.5 laps effectively. It's just... Most of you will see it. You know that there'll be many that will just continue to deny it because they live in a delusional fanboy world where they just desire-driven motives. They will fail to acknowledge what is really going on here. But it is truly disgusting. Truly disgusting. So, yeah, go and check out that other video. Go and check out the video, which is this one, and compare what you've just heard from Brundle and Crofty talking about that incident in France to how they spoke about turn 5, sorry, not turn 5, it's turn 6, Abu Dhabi lap 1, and how they went on about that for 8.5 laps to vilify Sir Lewis Hamilton. They're a British commentary team, and they're doing nothing but fluff Max Verstappen. What is going on? Anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you for your time.